So we're gonna start here with some basic passing, some of my favorite passes, and like this is to kill that open guard, right? Having a hard time passing someone's guard. They're very flexible. They play the De La Riva, that lasso guard, that spider guard really efficiently. I'm gonna show you guys some of my favorite tricks on how to kill that sort of guard, right? I'm gonna use Marcelo Nunes here, one of my students, and he's gonna be playing that open guard game. So when you're approaching someone's open guard, it's very important that you're aware what your opponent does well, whether it's a De La Riva, it's a lasso guard, whatever that he does well. You got to be avoiding that, right? So jiu-jitsu a lot, it's just about coordination, having the ability to attack and defend at the same time. Most people focus on their offense, and they're not really worried about what he's doing. Well, what he's doing is just as important as what I'm doing, right? This is like a conversation. This is an argument. Like I have to see things from both perspectives, right? So it's not just me attacking. I have to understand what he's doing as well, right? So before we even get into defending what he does, I'm going to teach you guys how to take the initiative. So one of my favorite ways of taking the initiative, this is one of the first passes I learned, and it never stopped working. It's very simple, but highly effective. I only need one thing to make this right here work for me. I need a pocket grip at the bottom of the pants. I'm not fighting for the knee, right? It's very important that I hold a pocket grip on the inside, like so. It's like not the illegal grip, but it's going to feel the same. I'm going to turn his gi inside out. And I'm going to dig my fingers in there. All right. What I'm going to do with my right hand is I'm going to go underneath that leg. Always look away. Okay. I'm never going to be looking in when you're doing this. So if I'm passing on my left, I got to be looking to my right, and I'm going to be cross-body, almost like an X. Right. We call this the over-underpass. And what I do with this leg is I push it inside my legs. And then this one right here, I'm gonna reach for that lapel. Ideally, the lapel will be open. If not, I'm gonna have to open as I'm passing. And I'm gonna drop my left shoulder on my opponent. As I do this, it's important that I plank on my left shoulder. I get on my toes with my knees slightly bent. My knees slightly bent, I'm gonna give me more drive. So your legs can't be straight and you can't have your knees on the ground. And it's gonna look like this right here, all right? So as I drive my knees, I make myself heavier. And as he begins to push and resist, remember, he's fighting gravity, so he's always at a disadvantage, right? You got to remember, when you're passing guard, gravity's on your side. Use it. The more my opponent carries my weight, the harder it's going to be for him to keep fighting because he's going to get tired, right? We all know that once your cardio goes, it's very difficult to be efficient in a fight. And the reason why I like this sort of passing so much for BJJ is, especially against an open guard player, is because it nullifies his open guard. If I get underneath this leg, I don't care how good his De La Riva is. I'm not playing that game. And this is what I'm talking about by, when I tell you guys to take the fight away from your opponent's comfort zone. Once I start fighting him here, there is no more open guard. There's no spider guard. There's no lasso. So I'm going to look away. I get heavy on my toes. I drive. Pressure here is the key word. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear that leg. Notice that when I clear that leg, I stack it underneath my legs. I call this a shelf. And I'm gonna go behind his knee. This is important because in a second, I'm gonna let go of the pocket grip that I started my pass with. Be honest with you guys, this doesn't happen very fast. This is not a fast pass, this is a grinding pass. So as I'm passing, my opponent's pushing. I gotta keep that pressure, it's relentless. Pressure can't stop. But if the pressure slows down, he's gonna recover. So no matter how much this guy pushes, I have to use gravity and the drive off my toes aggressively in order to pass, right? So once I clear the leg, my right hand's gonna go on that far collar and I pull that lapel. The reason I pull that lapel is by pulling that shoulder down, I make it harder for him to shrimp. Now he would like to shrimp his butt away from me, but if I pull that shoulder down, I'm gonna make it harder for him to shrimp because I'm straightening his body. I step around, I shelf. Once I shelf that leg, now I can let go of the pocket grip and now I can move towards the head. And I move my way on my way into side control. It's very important that you don't let go of that leg until you shelf the leg with your right leg. And the reason for that is if I let go too soon, he just brings that leg back in, okay? So one more time, this is the over-under pass. I am taking the initiative. I am not even having the problem of an open guard because I'm never letting my opponent get to it. So I can start this from standing. I'm gonna go one. This might be the hardest part of the whole pass, is getting that grip. But anytime I establish that pocket grip, I'm gonna dive, grab the lapel, punch that arm between my legs, bend my knees, get heavy on the pass, pull the lapel to make it harder for him to shrimp, shelf, okay? Once I shelf with my knee, I'm gonna let go. I stay tight, I grab the hand, and I make my way in. As I make my way in, always remember, the key word here is pressure. When your opponent's got short legs, they're always gonna try to shrimp and try to recover guard. That's why the pressure's gotta be relentless, because the second you stop the pressure, you get someone with an efficient open guard, that's when they recover. okay? Consistent pressure is the name of the game here. Hey guys, just letting all my subscribers know I'm giving out a free PDF file with grip training for Jiu-Jitsu. Now, why is grip training so important? I always say this to my students. Listen, if you're unathletic, you hate working out, you don't like to sprint, lift weights, do physical, any kind of hard physical training other than Jiu-Jitsu, there's only one muscle group you really need to train on. There's one muscle group that you can't go without. Your hands. You need strong hands. So if I had to choose, like between all my whole body, all my muscle groups, like which body part I wish were the strongest? Like I absolutely have to strengthen this. My hands. Why? Because you can't choke someone with weak hands. You can't kimura them with weak hands. You can't arm bar them with weak hands. You can't pass. You can't sweep. Everything you do requires strong hands. Everything else you might get away with being very unathletic. Your hands have to be fit. Because of this, I created a program on how to strengthen your hands. This is not only for competition, but also for regular practice. So if you want to just develop strong hands, I have some exercises I'll be teaching you guys, things that I've done over the years that really made my hands a lot stronger. And I want to share them with you guys. They're fairly simple. None of it is like rocket science, but it's a short little program on giving you an idea on how to strengthen your hands. I promise you, you're going to see your jiu-jitsu skyrocket once you start developing some better grip strength. Because if your grips aren't breaking, your chokes are stronger, your arm bars are better, your kimuras are better, your passing, your sweeping, everything is easier if these guys right here don't break, right? So grip training is key, and I'm happy to share with you guys some of my favorite grip training exercises.